First down Rams. Peo time in Rams house, hanging out on a Wednesday as always. Rams house, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Is that the classic Johnny Hecker jersey that you pulled out there?
Uh, it, it, I guess it's a classic now. Yeah, it's a bone
Yeah.
jersey, so I don't know if we can call
No,
that classic yet, but yeah.
I mean the classic player in Johnny Hecker. I mean, that alone brightened my day. I need a little bit of Johnny Hecker in my life.
Don't
How are
we?
you doing?
We all need little Johnny Hecker in our life.
Yeah,
I'm doing
honestly.
good. I'm doing good, man. Dude. I'm so stoked for this game, and everyone watching. Thank you for tuning on in, whether you're watching on the replay or live with us now. We're gonna get right into it. There's been a bunch of off the field news. We would love to hear from you in the chat. We'll of course have over Rams action, and we'll have what's more likely, but it's just the Rams later on in the stream. We're gonna preview this game, but I gotta start off by saying, amidst all the noise, I am so stoked that the Los Angeles Rams have a chance to face their division rival 11-3 in a primetime Thursday night matchup that very well could be the state, like crown the division and also crown the number one seed in the NFC. Crazy, right?
Yeah, and the fact it falls on a Thursday night too, like they didn't even have to flex this one into prime time.
Right?
Like the schedule makers knew what they were doing. That's all I got to say. And the fact that we get this Thursday night in Lumen Field, like I could not be more amped up for this game.
Totally. And do you know who else is not or is so amped up for this game? Brian Smith. He's pumped.
Oh yeah.
Too Icy is here. Stoked. Daniel's here. We got Willie Bowen is here. Justin always making noise in the chat. Good to see you. Vamos Rams. Lots of cool people here already hanging out with us. Thank you guys. Feel free to smash that like button. And let's talk about this here. The Rams versus Seahawks. To add even more weight to this, not that this matters a whole lot, but the Rams versus Seahawks overall series is tied at 28-28 wins apiece.
So, really?
Yeah, the winner of this game goes ahead in the all-time series.
That's pretty big. So that makes this game like even more meaningful. I didn't know it could get any more meaningful.
Right? And like you have the Cooper Kupp revenge game narrative, the Ernest Jones, the Colby Parkinson, like so many storylines going into this here. And I guess, let me start off by asking you this question. When you think about this game, who do you think is the X factor for the Rams for this game?
That's a good question. I think.
And you guys in the chat, let us know. Who do you think your X factor is for this game?
Yeah, I want to hear that for sure. My mind immediately goes to Cam Kinchens just because anytime he plays the Seahawks, he just finds a way to get turnovers. I don't know what it is. I still can't explain it, but that's where my brain goes first off. But when I look at the offense, I think the Rams running game, that's where my mind is going to. Because if you guys haven't heard, this is supposed to be kind of a rainy game, a little bit bad conditions, even some wind I saw on the road, obviously. And the Rams have been running it really well. So I think Blake Corum and Kyren Williams are big factors, especially with Devontae probably missing this game and the weather being the way it is. What would you say?
I'm going to say it because the Seahawks are going to be missing their left tackle and Cross. I think Jared Verse. And Jared Verse has been criticized, especially this back half of the season, for not just Jared Verse, the entire Rams D line, for a unit that was very much hyped up heading into this season and had its moments early on for sure. But there has been a number of times that we've been watching and they come so close to, sacking the quarterback or kind of disrupting it. And I don't know if we've really seen a complete game yet from this young defensive front that has all the potential in the world. But I don't know if we've seen their best game yet. And I think it might be this game. It might be.
That would excite me. Because if you're having a good day from the defensive line, I think most times you're going to win that game.
Yeah.
And if you can, like Sam Darnold, I think gets a little bit too much I guess, flack for some of the performances he's had. And like I see a lot of Rams fans taking this one easy because like we're playing Sam Darnold and the success we've had. I still find it funny how like the only time he's beaten us is when he was on the Jets. Like that would blow your mind. But yeah, I feel like he gets a little bit too much flack at times, and people think like, oh, if you just pressure him, he's going to make a mistake. To me, I think it's more about like getting consistent pressure all game and having that wear down on him. Because if you send a blitz or occasionally you get a guy through there, he can make a mistake, yeah, but it's more about like consistently getting there. And that's what we saw the Rams doing last year so well at the end of the year. It was like almost every pass rep, no matter who they were playing, they were being dominant. They were disrupting things, causing mistakes. This year and like the last few weeks, we haven't seen that as much as like consistent pressure. And we saw it against the Lions a lot that first half. Like Goff had a lot of time to work with. So I think if you are correct in your assessment of like this being a big D-line game that we've been waiting for, that only bodes well for the Rams. And that's where you can maybe get some of those mistakes from Darnold because it would be consistent, like almost unbearable rather than like, oh yeah, like on third down here and there, they'll get in there. Like we're going to need them to step up for sure.
Yeah. I see a couple of comments here. Sheer Force is saying 2-2 is his X factor of the game. I like that. Like, especially if Devontae Adams does miss, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I still, you know what, we still don't talking about 2-2's one catch on Sunday.
Yeah.
That was an incredible 2-2 Atwell catch.
That was. Yeah, I think he's good for at least one of those, like whether it's impressive or whether it's a key moment, kind of plays a game. Like they don't use him a ton, but I love how he kind of reminded us of like, I'm still on this team, like making that kind of catch, all hands. It wasn't even a doubt.
Yeah.
Like, that was impressive.
Yeah, no. And you know, every now and then he is someone that like, he's kind of like the David Tyree of the Rams right now, where like he makes that clutch play that no one saw coming, right?
Do you remember that game last year against the Bills when he had the big catch to get the Rams a first down on it? I think it was like a 4th and 5.
Yeah.
That was 2-2 Atwell over the middle. So you're definitely right on that one.
Yeah. Brian Smith is saying his X factor is Stafford. And I like where you're going with this, Brian, because Stafford did have one of his worst stat lines in terms of yardage against the Seahawks the first time the Rams played. I've heard a lot of Seahawks fans and content creators this week really kind of drive that point home. And my pushback to that is this is going to be a very different game than the first time that the Rams and Seahawks played, right? Mm-hmm. I know it was only a couple of weeks ago, but you know, no two football games are rarely ever the exact same, especially in the division. I expect this game to be a lot more high scoring. I think that me personally, I think that I think Puka's going to have a big game. I think JSN is going to have a big game for them. I'm expecting both these teams to get in the 30s personally.
I love that. I'm kind of thinking opposite.
Okay.
I'm thinking we get a similar result to last game that the Rams played, like lower 20s, especially with the weather being what it's supposed to be. And maybe it doesn't. Yeah, maybe it doesn't end up being as bad as what it's looking like right now. Maybe it doesn't affect things as much. I mean, we saw even the Rams against the Ravens a couple of years ago. That was a bad weather rain game, and both teams got over 30 points. So maybe we do see something like that. But I'm thinking this is going to be a little bit more of an ugly game, a running the football game, a defensive kind of game. But we'll obviously see in under 24 hours.
Yeah. One of our resident Seahawks fans, who's still a cool guy, Sinjin, is here. Good to see. He's saying it's coming down to the quarterbacks. Yeah. Stafford and Darnold. Juno Trooper saying Puna Ford is his.
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick as well, coming in that Rams D line here. And let's see, any other X factors? I
almost like want to say Puna Ford is the most underrated Ram on the roster right now.
Yeah.
I feel like he really doesn't get enough credit for what he does for this Rams team. And you saw in that Carolina game when he was beat up and not able to play all the reps that he normally could play. That was one of the worst games that we've had against a running attack. And Puna Ford, he doesn't get the sacks, he doesn't get the flashy numbers, but like he is a legitimate piece for this Rams defense. So I'm glad he brought him up as an X factor.
Mm-hmm. Rams Mob is saying, honestly, I feel very confident about this game, but I'm also very confident we'll see them in the playoffs again. Ooh.
I'm thinking NFC Championship. That's where my brain's been at there. Yeah. So It's going to be interesting.
Yep. No, absolutely. Um, Let me bring up here. Caught up with the comments here. Again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning on in. Feel free to like
Yeah.
and subscribe to both of our channels. And every Wednesday we're live here talking Rams on First Down Rams. This is the injury report. I'm just going to zoom in because to be cool like that.
Yeah.
The Rams have been winning the injury report the past couple games. And this one, we do see Braden Fisk is questionable and Devontae Adams is doubtful. Out of the two of those, I would say Devontae Adams is the bigger loss if neither of them can play. But Braden Fisk being out, that makes me kind of nervous too. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd rather have both those guys playing. Devontae Adams is definitely going to be a big hit, especially to red zone for what the Rams do and all the short yardage touchdowns he's had. But even just like whether he has the big stats or not, he pulls attention away from Puka and opens things up just by bringing guys with him. That's a
Yeah,
big loss for sure. Braden Fisk, it would have been nice to have him because if you can get that pressure up the interior against a guy like Darnold, that's where you can really start having some success against him. So, and, obviously we don't know if he's going to be out or not, but yeah, I would argue Devontae is a little bit bigger of a loss for the Rams here, although they do have some good depth players at the receiver position for sure.
fair. And looking at the Seahawks, who also play in a short week, and it looking like everybody is a full go except for at the very bottom here, Charles Cross, their starting left tackle. He is ruled out for this game. That's a huge loss for the Seattle Seahawks. What do you think about Charles Cross being out?
Yeah, that was a massive loss. I mean, he's one of the better tackles in the league. And obviously, he's going to be tasked with going up against Jared Verse. So, with him missing, I think it's Josh Jones as their backup tackle. Sajin, definitely let me know if I'm right or wrong on that. But he's definitely a decent backup for sure, especially compared to what they've had in recent years. But I think that Jared Verse versus a backup tackle, you're obviously going to be seeing a lot of chips from their running backs, from their tight ends, because you can't just let up a backup go up against Jared Verse. And I mean, Jared Verse usually gets double teams too. So you definitely expect them to scheme around it. But yeah, for that to be their only injury, that is definitely a big injury here against a guy like Jared Verse.
Yep, no, absolutely. Rams Mob here is saying he thinks Terrence Ferguson is his X factor of the game. With Devontae out, there's an opportunity for this to be his breakout game. That's interesting because I'm of the mindset of that Terrence Ferguson has a role in this offense, but I don't expect it to be a big one all year. He's still developing as a prospect. I I think if any tight end, it's going to be Kobe Parkinson, as he's been playing at a really high level the past couple weeks. But overall, like Davis Allen has been balling out. I saw that the practice window opened up for Tyler Higbee, but he's not quite ready to go yet. But what are your thoughts on this Rams tight end room that's been playing very well for them all season long?
Yeah, I'm very happy that we have the depth that we do, because like looking back at years past, even last year, Colby Parkinson was a guy that a lot of Rams fans were frustrated that we paid.
He just seems like
And
a blocking tight end, yeah.
right. And there, like, we did not see nearly the effectiveness this year. I hear people bring it up all the time that like he's still only 26 years old, which is crazy because you think he's like a vet who's getting close to 30, but he's only 26. And the growth we've seen in him and Davis Allen and Terrence Ferguson, and you have Tyler Higbee coming back. I'm excited to see what they can do here against the Seahawks, but I also do know that the Seahawks are probably the best matchup for 13 personnel and 12 personnel, because they just have the right guys like an Eamon Wari to be able to match up against Parkinson or whoever the tight end is. So I definitely acknowledge that like this may not be a huge tight end game, but I think that you will have those key moments where they're going to make a big catch. Ferguson feels like he's been on the verge of making that big play. Last week you saw Stafford just missed him deep.
Yeah.
That was a walk-in touchdown if Stafford hit him in stride there. You just feel like when they get on the same page, Ferguson has been a weapon. Just the way he's been able to get open and the ways that they use him, he's the most unique tight end. But Parkinson, for those of you who somehow don't know, since week 10, Colby Parkinson is tied for the most touchdowns scored by a receiver or tight end. Just touchdowns scored, I guess, receiving touchdowns, tied with Devontae Adams. He's
Wow.
had 6 touchdowns since week 10, and that's the most he never had more than that with the Seahawks. So
Wow.
I'm excited to see what this tight end group can do, although I do think that the Seahawks match up well against tight ends for sure.
Yeah. And Descendo here is saying a huge game tomorrow, but I think the Rams sweep. Nice. And
Ooh.
it looks like a bunch of our resident Seahawks, people in our community are coming out. Seahawks Eddie is here. Good to see you, man. Good luck tomorrow. It's gonna be a big game. Good big game. Let's see. I thought I saw another comment here. Oh, I before we get back to the comments here, we were talking off screen a bit. Do you want to touch on the plane situation with the Rams at all?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I'll bring this up here. Adam Schefter, the chef of NFL
News.
Inside.
Yeah.
He's saying the Rams team flight that was supposed to be leaving any minute now, this is 3 hours ago, is expected to be significantly delayed due to equipment issue with the plane, per sources. The team currently is working on alternative travel arrangements to prevent any further delays going to Seattle. And then I saw, or we saw that like potentially they're taking like a flight that was already going there or something like that. Like, is there a chance that like it's gonna be like a commercial flight? Like people can just like they'll be in economy and all of a sudden like Kobe Turner sitting beside them, like and being like, "Hey, do you want the aisle seat?" Like,
honestly, suddenly I'm getting a desire to fly to Seattle. Maybe I can meet some Rams players there. But
right?
no, I feel like the Rams are gonna find some way to make sure that the full team flight is gonna be players and personnel only. I think that's just like too dangerous to have like just general civilians there. Yeah. But I've seen some people concerned about this, about the like plane not leaving on time and all of that. I am not extremely worried about it. I mean, like people were worried when the Rams were going to London and leaving so late. Like it was like a couple days before the game. That was uncharacteristic. We saw the Rams like pivot really quickly and go to Arizona to play their playoff game there. So I think if any team is to handle a situation like this, like a minor hiccup, I think it would be the Rams. But that said, I don't think that they're going to be alongside like general civilians, but I think that would be kind of funny.
Yeah, right. And I think my only like concern of it, and again, I'm glad it's a flight that like they're in the same time zone. It's a West Coast flight, like they're not going across the country. My only like concern of it would be that it's a break in the routine, right? NFL players they're in a system all season long, right? And even on these short weeks, they have a plan in place that's known weeks ahead. And this is, it's a break in that routine. And you hope it doesn't throw them off or anything like that. But again, like you said, if there's one team that can, deal with kind of a kink in the middle of their week, it is the Rams. And I see Rams mob saying here, like, it's a short flight. I'm not too worried about it. So.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it either. I mean, like, I guess it's news to break in general, but I'm not worried about how it's going to affect things here Thursday night for the Rams. So,
yeah, I guess the only thing is the hotel, like the hotel that the Rams players are staying in, they're spending less time in the hotel.
I guess that's true. Yeah. What would you say, like, for this game? How confident are you, first off, that the Rams are going to win? And what would you say would be the reason that the Rams lose? Like the Rams lose this game if, what would be your kind of fill in the blank for that one?
I'm confident the Rams will win this game. I really do think these are the two best teams in not just the NFC but the NFL, and I think they're both playing at a high level right now. I think if the Rams lose this game, it'll be because Sam Darnold plays efficient football, doesn't turn the ball over, and that, like, essentially, I think the Seattle Seahawks will be playing with a lead in the fourth quarter, where I think if the game is close or the Rams are playing with a lead, I think the Rams will close out this game pretty convincingly. But if the Seahawks go into the fourth quarter, with a 2-score lead or something like that, that would be a concern because they do have an offense that can sustain drive. They do have a defense that can cause a 3-and-out at a frustrating time. They can cause turnovers on their own right. And yeah, I think I do have faith that the Rams have the personnel to match up well against Seattle. But I am of the mindset of this game is coming down to the wire. I'll have my defibrillator and my heart medication on standby, and so I'm prepared for that.
Yeah. I would say I'm confident. I said this on my game preview. The Rams have every kind of asset to win this game, the coaching to win this game. It's like I just have a weird feeling they may lose this one, and I'm hoping I'm wrong because I can see multiple paths where the Rams can win this game. But I also acknowledge that like the Seahawks are a really good team. They almost beat us with a game-winning kick after us still getting 4 interceptions
Yeah,
on Sam Darnold, which I think is like important to note. I do think that the Rams didn't play their best football on that day, but also the Seahawks like played really good defense too. So this game, I would say the Rams would lose this game if they turn over the football like even 1 or 2 times. I think they could lose this game because I don't expect Sam Darnold or the Seahawks offense to turn over the football nearly as many times as the first matchup. And I could even see them playing like a clean game without turnovers. So I think a lot of it is going to be like this game is going to be won and lost on like who turns over the football more or less. I think that's a big kind of key in this game for sure.
as Rams Mob is saying, game of the year, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a big one because you think of it like after this game, you have the Falcons and the Cardinals, which
Yeah.
both eliminated from postseason contention. Maybe something happens in those games or things like that. But like if the Rams handle their business here, the chances of them getting the number 1 seed are very high, right? And this is such a massive, massive game for both the Rams and the Seahawks here. And we as fans, we're blessed. Right? This is going to be such a treat to enjoy this late in the season.
Yeah. I've heard that narrative too, like, oh, like if the Rams lose this game, the Niners have a chance in week 18 to take that number 1 seed. And I'm like, oh, don't even let that happen. Like just find a way to get a win and get out of there. That's the big thing.
Yeah. No, it's actually been really annoying when like the Rams beat the Niners and you're like, okay, handle the Niners. And then like a couple weeks ago, you're like, oh, the Niners are still winning.
Yeah.
Oh, like I had hoped like the Rams had beaten them and they would like lose a couple and like they'd still be in the hunt, but like they'd fall out of the playoff picture. But no, they're firmly in it too, right? And so we definitely don't want the Niners to have a chance to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and then also the Super Bowl is going to be played in their stadium, right?
Yeah, I would not sign up for that.
No.
But Brian right here, he says, I miss Pete Carroll as Seattle's coach. It was so much easier to beat them.
I miss Pete Carroll too.
Yeah, honestly, I think the Seahawks miss Pete Carroll too. Like, why not give him a call?
Hire back. The Raiders seem done with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I mean, I guess it makes this game all the more fun though. I talked about it last time the Rams and Seahawks played. Like, it had felt like so long since a Rams Seahawks game meant this much. And I'm gonna bring that statement back for this game. Like,
it means even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since it was always Rams and Niners, at least in recent history, that are like the bigger games. But now it's becoming Seahawks Rams that are like, ooh, this is a big game, like game of the year, as people were saying. So kind of fun to see what McDonald's brought to this rivalry a little bit, because I feel like the rivalry cooled off a little bit in the last Pete Carroll years there.
Well, like was the last time the Seahawks lost? It was to the Rams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, they've been on a bit of a tear. Yeah, because that was 4 weeks. Yeah, the last time they lost was to the Rams. Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. And they've beaten the Titans, the Vikings, the Falcons, and the Colts. So not like your juggernaut teams, but like they're games you got to win, right? Okay. So this is a massive game. Wow. And I still can't believe this is on the Thursday night game of all games.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the whole, like, you talked about it, Ernest Jones rivalry game, Cooper Kupp rivalry game kind of thing. I'm going to be honest, like, until I was doing my like game preview video prep yesterday for this game, I had almost forgot that Kupp was on their team and like The first time around, in my opinion, that was a bigger storyline of like Cup comes back to SoFi, first
Yeah.
time the teams have played since then. This feels just like the Jared Goff thing we talked about last week, where it's like, yeah, Cup's on the Seahawks now. It doesn't feel as much of like this is a big revenge game. I honestly look more at Ernest Jones. Like he seems to be a guy that carries that a little bit more and kind of like fuels that rivalry between the two teams. But what are your whole thoughts on that? Like the Cooper Cup, Ernest Jones kind of storyline and Colby Parkinson, as you brought up?
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, both players did kind of leave disgruntled to a degree.
Yeah.
Cup still like handled it with class, and so did Jones. Jones came around and handled it with class too. Like Cooper Cup on the year, he's 41 receptions, 519 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 12.7 yards a catch. I think for me, the Cooper Cup narrative is still real because it's still within a year. The Ernest Jones thing was over, like, I'd say last year at some point. Like, and especially when he got his big, massive contract with the Seahawks. And it's like, happy for him as a person. But yeah, I don't see the revenge narrative as much anymore with them. And I guess probably for Seahawks fans, Colby Parkinson, if there ever was a revenge game narrative, it's probably gone too.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, obviously Cooper Cup has been the more recent Ram to go there than Ernest Jones was, but it feels like Ernest Jones still like kind of carries that like my team didn't want me kind of energy to it from some of the posts he's had, but also just like comments he's made. I still remember, I think it was the first time he was playing the Rams as a Seahawk last year. He went in like wearing a shirt that said like they didn't believe in me or something. So that kind of fuels that rivalry, and you can kind of feel it in the way he plays. But Brian says right here, can Ernest Jones cover? That was kind of like a big knock for him, but this year he has 5 interceptions, and he's definitely gotten better at covering.
Yeah,
interceptions aren't everything, but like he's definitely improved quite a bit. And even with the Rams, he wasn't like terrible at coverage. So yeah, I mean the Nate Landman and Ernest Jones linebacker duel, even though they won't be on the field at the same time, that's definitely a fun one.
For the record, that would be a sick duel if they did have like an M&A fight. Ernest Jones versus Dan.
I would pay good money to watch that.
I would too. Do you want to get into over Rams action?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, sweet.
All right, over Rams action. Big game here. It's over Rams action Wednesday to help the time pass a little bit to get into this Rams Seahawks game. And all of these are themed for the Rams and Hawks game, just with how big the matchup is. If this is your guys' first time here, over Rams action Wednesday is basically just a spinoff of what Rich Eisen and Chris Brockman do on Mondays. And it is essentially me pitching 5 hot takes or potential hot takes to Payo Time and you guys in the chat, all revolving around the Rams and Seahawks in this game. And you guys are both going to react if it is a fair take or if it's a hot take, but here we call hot takes over Rams actions. So pretty simple game to play here. And we're going to start off with number 1.
I'm ready.
Rams have had a great history against Sam Darnold, and we all know that. And I'm going to say this game, Sam Darnold won't throw a single interception. Last game he threw 4. He's not going to throw another one in this game.
That is a total over Rams action.
Okay.
And I say that because of the history Sam Darnold has against the Rams, but also more so missing his left tackle. I still think the Seahawks line, it's improved, but it's still vulnerable to this Rams defensive line. And I think that they may not sack him, but I think they'll make Sam Darnold make some ill-advised throws. And so I'm going to say that's an over Rams action. Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. Timer thing again on your.
Yeah, I'm having to turn the timer off on all of these. I don't know why. It just automatically has it on there. Very weird. But let's see what some of the people in the comments say here. Sajin says, and he's a Seahawks fan, Sam will throw 2 interceptions. So I would love that. I'd love to see that. Bacon Bomb says he only throws 1 to 2 this game. I like how there's an only in there. Juno Trooper, Darnold will for sure throw a pick. And Oh, wow. We got a lot of Kinchin's pick. I love that. Obviously, he's had great
Love that.
success against the Seahawks. 2 picks from Manuel. So a lot of people disagreeing with this one. They're saying it's an over Rams action. It's a hot take. And so we'll see what ends up happening. With it being a weird kind of rain game, I could see the Seahawks trying to lean into their run game a little bit more, trying to take care of the football. That's kind of the way I see this one going. But honestly, if Sam Darnold is forced to pass, it's a close game. I'm not ruling it out. It could happen. I just think the narrative of like, oh, we're for sure getting interceptions on him is a little bit overblown at times, but hope to be wrong on this one for sure. All right. Thanks for getting all these timers off while I was reading the comments.
Yeah. I found those. That's an annoying feature.
I know they did not need to update that and add that in there. But number 2, I talked about earlier. I don't think this is going to be a high scoring affair between both these teams. I think it's going to be lower scoring, both because of the weather, but also because the high quality defenses in this matchup. I'm saying no team will get over 20 points this game.
Let me see. Let us know in the chat. What do you guys think? I'm thinking about it.
As a reminder, last time the Rams and Seahawks played is 21-19. That was the final.
True.
I'm saying no team's going to get over 20 points this game. Descendo says fair. Okay.
But here's the thing. So you have the Rams that are the second. They've scored the second most points in the NFL at 420 points this year. The Seahawks are the 5th highest scoring team total this year. So Rams are averaging 30 points per game. Seahawks 28.9 points per game. I think, and again, I know division games are different. You never could know how they're going to go. I stand by the take of this is going to be a very different game than that first Rams Seahawks game. I think both teams go over 30 or 20 points personally.
I'm sure Amazon would love that too, just for the entertainment value of this game. We got some different opinions here. Brian says 24-23 Rams win. So that's over the 20 points, 27-20 Rams. So we're seeing some people a little bit closer to you. I would love to be wrong. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think it's going to be the rain playing a factor into this game. Seahawks, I believe, are the number 2 scoring defense across the NFL. So they're really good at keeping teams down. And I think the Rams in a divisional matchup can keep the Seahawks down as well. So that's what I say. Ducendo also says the rain will play a factor. That's definitely fair. And then Juno Trooper, not an over Rams action, but we should score 30. And then Rob says Rams 31-17. So we got some mixed reactions on this. That's why I love to see a little bit of variety here. Okay, for number 3, here is something that some of you guys may know, some of you probably won't. If you're a Seahawks fan, you know it. The Seahawks have not allowed a 100-yard rusher since October of last season, and that was to James Cook. But with this running back duo of Blake Corum and Kyron Williams, this will be the first time the Seahawks allow 100 yards or more to both running backs since 2024 in October.
Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh. I'm going to say that's not an over Rams action. Yeah. I think that Blake Corum and Kyron Williams, they're hot right now, right? Like like you know how they say like give the ball to the running back with the hot hand? They both got the hot hand right now, right? And especially with the way that this Rams offensive line has been blocking, like if I was rewatching some of the highlights from Sunday's game, and you see like some of the stuff that like Warren McClendon's doing, or Kevin Dotson, or Coleman Shelton, or Steve Avila, or AJ Jackson, like they are mauling defenders, and I don't know if they have as big of a game this game, as they did on Sunday, but I think it's in play. I think it's in play.
Yeah, I am kind of with you there. Like, I don't think they're gonna have as many as they did and as they have recently, because the Seahawks defense is much better than the ones we've been playing recently. But it's hard because like we're Rams fans, so to say like this is one of the best running back duos in the NFL right now makes it sound like we're just making a homer pick or whatever, or showing favoritism. But just looking at the numbers and the way they're running, like they're not only one of the best duos in football right now, but they're one of the most efficient duos. And as you mentioned, like the offensive line is a big credit to that.
Yeah.
This is even just like looking at PFF, like one of the best run blocking offensive lines in the NFL. But obviously, the Seahawks have played teams like the Colts with Jonathan Taylor, like Christian McCaffrey on the 49ers, and they've played some good running backs and kept them over or under 100 yards this year. So you could go either way on this one. I do think the Rams are going to lean into the run game, and I do think that they get over 100 yards. So I'm in agreement with that. Let's see what Bacon Bomb says. Kyron plus Corum definitely will get over 100. So I like that. 130 to 140 rushing yards for the Rams.
Yeah,
that would be a really good day. Kendricks says nope. So who knows? I can't tell. Oh, he's a Dolphins fan. Okay. I was going to say, I don't know if he's a Seahawks fan, but he doesn't think so. So we got some mixed reactions in here. But Sajin says, yes, I know, but with you guys running back room today, I can see it, but not this game. Okay. Yeah, this one really could go either way. I'm excited to see how it plays out because I do think the Rams are going to lean into it in this game, especially with the weather. But into number 4 we go. Obviously, we know Devontae Adams is probably going to miss this game. I'd be surprised if he played. He's actually, his status is switched to doubtful now from questionable. Yeah. So we're probably not going to see Devontae Adams. And a guy that the Rams coaching staff and the players have talked about a lot is Konate Mumfield. Even before Adams got hurt, they were talking about saying he is like Adams' apprentice and that he's very similar in the way he runs routes and sees the game. So I'm going to say Konate Mumfield will have at least one touchdown this game against the Seahawks.
This is your hardest one today.
Really?
I think it is so far. Because I see on paper how that makes sense. And it's not like he hasn't had it like a touchdown. Like he is still a rookie, but by this point in the season, he's learned how to be a professional. Mm-hmm. He's played in some big games. I could see it happening, but I'm gonna say it's an over Rams action for the reason of I just think that if they get in the red zone, we could see Puka, kind of get that passing touchdown. We could see Kobe Parkinson or Davis Allen. But honestly, more and more, like I think that the Rams are content running it in if they can.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Mumfield doesn't get one or two catches this game. I don't see him getting a touchdown this game.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I think he gets in, and I do think that the Rams are going to use him similar to the way they've been using Devontae Adams. Maybe not in the exact same way, but like in the inside 5 yards, those quick release like slants, or maybe not so much the fade. And he's obviously not as dangerous as a Devontae right now and hasn't proved himself as much. But I kind of think that's why I feel like he's going to score. Yep. I think he's going to have more usage. And I think the Seahawks are going to be more focused in on stopping a Puka and stopping a Parkinson, like guys who have been red hot lately. Then they are going to be like, oh, let's watch out for Konate Mumfield, number 15, like a rookie 6th round pick. So I'm going to say he gets at least one this game. But I could also see what you're saying. Like maybe the Rams just run it in more. Yeah. Honestly, as long as they're scoring touchdowns, like who cares who it is? That's what we're talking about. But obviously, it's a big storyline here with Adams being out. Brian says, this is a tough one. I wouldn't be surprised if Mum scored simply because Seattle might not expect it. That's kind of where I'm leaning there too. And I just feel like, again, they're very similar in their play style. So I could see it. No touchdown for Konate. Okay, so we got some different ones in here. And then Sajin says, Puka will absolutely score a tutty and Parkinson. I endorse this guy. Okay. All right. I like that. I like it.
Yep.
All right. Number 5 here. We're going to end it out strong. We talked about the Rams pass rush. We talked about it earlier. And you said this could be the big game we've been waiting for. I'm going to say the Rams will sack Sam Darnold more times than he'll have touchdown passes in this game.
Okay. The Rams will sack Sam Darnold more times than he'll have touchdown passes this game. That is an interesting one. I don't think that's an over Rams action. Again, with Cross being out, and I in my gut, I feel like the perfect time for this Rams D line to have one of their best games of the season is this game. Sam Darnold by no means is like a statue, but like he's not like the fastest quarterback to run away from pressure. I think it could be this game where the Rams just, they have like 4 or 5 sacks on them. Yeah.
Well, see, and the funny thing with this one is like even if the Seahawks put up 30 points, Sam Darnold could maybe only have 2 touchdowns, and at that point, the Rams would only need like 3 sacks.
Yeah.
So I think this is reasonable here. I think that we're going to get home a few times, and with me thinking it's going to be a lower scoring game, like in the very low 20s kind of thing, I don't think that this is an over Rams action. Let's see what everybody else is saying in here. Striker's Corner says yep, and then Sureforce says yes, and then Sijin, our resident Seahawks fan, says all signs lead to a maybe.
Maybe.
But he's not sure. Technically, we can't answer that way on this. So just whatever way you're leaning on this one, I could see it maybe though. Yeah, pick a lane. Manuel says 5 sacks, 2 touchdowns. Both of their tackles are hurt. I think their right tackle is going to play, but yeah, Charles Cross, their left tackle, is going to be out. Big and Bomb says definitely reasonable. And if Fisk is playing, I could see some sacks. We need his pressure. That's definitely a good take there. So that's going to do it for the Over Rams action segment of this. Thank you, everybody, for playing along. You guys make it a lot more fun than if it was just us talking about it.
Yeah.
Some good opinions in here, and love getting some opinions from the Seahawks fans. But yeah, that's going to do it for the Over Rams action.
Rams House, those are great topics for today. Thanks for bringing them here to the show.
You know, I was excited for this game. Made it easy to come up with topics. This game has so many storylines that you could go so many different directions for sure.
Are you going to watch this game with your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's he's a Bears fan, but he likes to support the Rams. So
I'm just saying, if there's a Bears Rams NFC Championship game or playoff game, you're in a house divided.
I've experienced that Rams Bengals Super Bowl has prepared me to going up against a family member. But yeah, excited for the game regardless. It's going to be a very good one for sure.
Cool. Are you cool if we play a little what's more likely, but it's just the Rams?
I'm always down to do that.
All right. We're going to get into our final segment of the show. I have 5 scenarios here, and if you're first time watcher of this show, again, we rip off the Rich Eisen show a lot because we like it, and imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, as they say. So Rich Eisen, if you ever see this, love the show. But what's more likely? I'll give 2 scenarios, and Rams House will say which one is more likely, and you in the chat will also say which one do you think is the more likely outcome. And don't be like, oh, they're both going to happen or neither are going to happen. No, pick a side, okay?
Pick a lane.
Okay. So, I'm hot.
Oh yeah.
What's more likely? Colby Parkinson gets a revenge touchdown this game, or Cooper Kupp gets 75 yards plus revenge, or 75 plus revenge yards.
I'm going to go the first one.
Okay.
I think Parkinson's just been on a tear recently, and I think that there's a legitimate scenario for him to score. I don't remember, how many games has Kupp gone over 75 yards? That's what I'm wondering. But either way, I'm going to keep it at Colby Parkinson for sure. A revenge touchdown feels very likely to me. He's just been on a tear recently.
Okay. St. Thank you for enjoying the segment, and Grandizer, thanks for updating that you do in the chat. We see here they're saying Parkinson easy. Okay, all right. A lot of people are going Parkinson here.
Oh, Bacon Bomb says Cooper.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I missed. Oh, there's a bunch coming in the chat that I didn't see there. Okay, not yet. Saying Cooper. Okay, we got some. It's a little bit of discrepancy there. That's cool. Okay, good job, everyone. Good job. All right, next one. What's more likely? So, and I saw someone reference it in the chat. The Rams versus Seahawks series is tied at 28-28. Wins apiece.
Mm-hmm.
What's more likely? Rams take a 2-game lead by the end of January, or someone on the Rams wins an award other than Stafford at the NFL honors?
Ooh, that's a good one. That one's you were definitely thinking about this one, I can tell.
Yeah, I put a lot of thought into this one.
Um, honestly, it feels weird because these teams are so close. I'm gonna go with the first option because I don't really know what other award would be handed out for the Rams other than Stafford. Because like, yeah, you could say McVay Coach of the Year, but like he has a good roster and he's put players in good. Like, I don't know if they're gonna go that direction. So I'm gonna go the first one.
You don't think Puka could win Offensive Player of the Year?
That's a good. I think he could, but I don't know. I feel it kind of feels more like JSN or like Jonathan Taylor will win that with the way that they're playing right now.
You don't think that like Nate Landman could win something?
What would he win? He wouldn't win Defensive Player of the Year. The only thing I could see with him is like maybe Comeback Player of the Year, but that would be
That's
like,
fair.
yeah,
You can't. It might be the 2-game lead. Okay, I was trying to come up with other scenarios here. Okay.
yeah. That's not bad though. Definitely made me think there.
Yeah, a lot of. Oh yeah, Kyron could get Walter Payton Man of the Year.
That's true.
I
That
didn't
does
even think
actually
about it.
feel
Good
pretty real.
take, Juno.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's fair.
I still kind of want to go with option one though.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think we all would.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Rams and Seahawks are on a collision course. No matter who wins the game tomorrow, I totally think they're going to meet in the playoffs. And tomorrow's game will decide where that game is played in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh man, and getting that number one seed and getting the first round bye would be big for sure. Especially with
Massive.
like getting healthy again, getting Quentin Lake back and Devontae back and all that.
Yep. Okay, I always like to throw in a fun one like this here. What's more likely? Sam Darnold throws more interceptions this game than touchdowns, or Stafford runs for a first down?
Oh man. I know I was just talking about like I feel like Sam Darnold's going to take care of the football, but like why would Stafford run in a touchdown?
A first down.
Oh, runs for a first down.
Yeah, it's even easier than a touchdown.
I was like, maybe QB sneak, but I don't know. Oh, this one for me is your hardest one yet.
Okay.
Mm.
A lot of people are saying Stafford in the chat. Striker's Corner says Darnold. Stafford. Bacon Bomb says Stafford for a first in the rain.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm gonna go Stafford.
Okay. Yeah, Gino doesn't want Stafford to run it.
Yeah.
Manuel saying Stafford pulls out the wheels for one game.
I mean, to be fair, it could be like a 1 yard run for a first down. It doesn't even have to be that long. How many yards does he have scrambling this year, though? Is it like 6?
I'm curious.
I think it's 6.
Okay, take a guess. I'll look it up.
I'm gonna say 6, but I'm thinking in the way of like kneeling it down at the end of a game doesn't take away yards, but I don't know if they're going to take away yards because of kneel downs he's had. That's kind of where I'm stuck.
Let me see here. Okay, rushing. Oh, wait 1 sec. Okay,
Because we know Stafford is trying to be like Lamar here.
I know, yeah, pretty much. Let us know in the chat where do you guys think? So total on. Dude.
It's got to be negative, right?
Yeah, I don't know how they calculate. Okay, so it's -8 on the year. He had 2 yards rushing against Detroit, so he technically was -10, but like he came back from that. He's had 0 every game except for -1 against the Panthers. He had -3 against the Niners the second time, -4 against the Saints. He had 1 yard against the Jags, 1 yard against the Ravens. Season high, 4 yards rushing against the Colts. -6 against the Titans and -2 against the Texans.
Those are impressive numbers right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Juno Trooper's confirming. He says they do take away yards for kneel downs.
That's a good point.
Makes a
Yeah,
lot of
I
sense.
forgot about that.
This is a funny comment. Did you see how fast Stafford was running when Atwell
Yeah.
scored the touchdown against the Colts?
Yeah, we want
We
to see
talk about that
that.
a lot.
Yeah.
We need McVay to draw up a play to where he makes Stafford think he scored a touchdown, so Stafford's running at max speed with the football. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, it's just like it looks like he's running through clay or something.
Yeah. And Stafford himself has made fun of himself. He's just like, why am I so slow when I have the ball in my hands?
He's very aware of it. You can tell.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where he probably feels like he's going faster than he is, and then he watches it and is like, oh, it looks that bad.
I got a what's more likely here coming in from Grandizer to go next.
Ooh.
He's saying, what's more likely, Rams versus Seahawks ends in a tie tomorrow, or Seahawks versus 49ers ends in a tie with their last match of the year? I'm gonna say Seahawks Niners ends in a tie at the end of the year.
I agree with that, actually.
I don't like ties at all.
I don't either. They need to get rid of ties. Those are one of the weirdest things that you can do.
I honestly would be a proponent of like have your backup quarterback throw the ball as far as you can. Winner, like whoever throws it the farthest wins or something. I don't know.
Or have your kicker throw the ball as far as he can.
Yeah, something random. I'd like that better than ties. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, ties are strange.
Okay, what's more likely? Jared Verse gets messed up the spelling there. Gets 3 sacks this game, or the Rams get a return touchdown. And I do mean punt return or kick return.
That it doesn't feel like that we get close with a return, especially like Whittington.
Yeah, that would just seem like they run into a pile of people and never do anything.
I know, or like into their own guy. I want to say 3 sacks for Jared Verse, but that would be like a career high. He's going up against a backup. I'm going to say they get a return for a touchdown because I'd be surprised if Verse got 3, but I would be happy if I was wrong on this.
Okay, fair enough. Here we got Striker saying, Striker, that's not how the game's played. You got to pick a wing. Just kidding. Bacon Bomb saying 3 sacks. Sheer Force saying return, but hopes Verse gets the sack. Return, Tutty, 3 sacks. Oh, pretty divided on this one in the chat.
I like it. I think it was a good one.
I agree with this, what Gina's saying. I feel like the Rams are due for a return touchdown at some point. Point.
I can definitely see it with Whittington for sure.
Yeah. I can see Xavier Smith on a punt return. I really could. Yeah.
I don't think Xavier Smith is hurt though.
Yeah, I don't think he's hurt. Question. Yeah. Okay. All right, that was fun. Okay, I got one more for you. One more? You want one more?
We need one more? All right, we'll get one.
Okay. I was trying to finish off hot here. What's more likely this game? Puka gets over 160 yards receiving for the 3rd straight game, or the Rams defense hold their opponent under 100 yards for the 3rd straight game.
Just yards. Oh, rushing.
Sorry, okay. Rushing. Yards rushing. My apologies.
No, you're good. I'm gonna say the third, or not the third, the second one. I'm gonna go under 100 yards rushing, because the Rams have done a really good job against like opposing run offenses, and Poona Ford and Landman have been a big reason for that. And Seahawks running game hasn't been the most effective. Like they kind of get the big runs here and there, like sporadically, not like consistently. And I do think it's going to be lower scoring and more of a running game for the Rams. So I don't think Puka would get over 160 yards for a 3rd game in a row. That's kind of what I'm thinking, though.
Wait, Striker's saying Puka breaks 200. So okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Rams defense. Wow, says Sheer Force. Sinjin is saying under 100. Okay. Defense will stand tall, like it. And because of the rain, he's saying hold the opponent. Okay. That's fair enough. I think out of these, what's more likely? I do think it's holding their opponent for under 100 rushing yards for a 3rd straight game.
I agree. Yeah. They definitely have the defense built to do it, and the Seahawks still have just been like very inconsistent on that front of it. So,
that was fun. Thanks everyone for playing along for what's more likely, but it's just the Rams.
Yeah, I honestly think Rich Eisen needs to take our advice here with just making it all about the Rams all the time. I think that
Absolutely.
that would make his show miles better for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I know we're coming to the end of our show here, but Rams House, I know it's a short week. You had an excellent game preview video. Thanks for all the hard
Thank you.
work you put into that came out. Everyone, if you haven't watched that, go over to Rams House channel, give it a check. And but yeah, do you got any other content coming out the next couple days?
Yeah, oddly enough, tomorrow, it's weird to think tomorrow night we'll be doing my post game reaction to the game. Hopefully, it'll be after a Rams win. That will be a lot of fun.
Yep.
And then after that, I'll also clip out like the over Rams action segment for those who didn't see it live. After that, it'll be interesting because there'll be more time to make videos between. Because the next time the Rams will play after this game will be 2 Mondays from now.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
there could be some extra content in there, but for sure, game preview next week for the Falcons, the post game reaction tomorrow, and then over Rams action clipped out. And there may be some bonus stuff here and there depending on how things shake out. But what
Cool.
about you?
Yeah, so I actually have a big day tomorrow. I'm going to see the new Avatar movie in the afternoon,
Ooh.
which I'm excited to go to see because I love those movies. And then after it, I'm going to have dinner, and then I'm going to come home, and I'm going to get ready for the Rams versus Seahawks. So it's a pretty epic Thursday for me. And then I'll, of course, host a watch party for the Rams versus Seahawks. Would love to see you all there. And then I'll do before and after, which once again, I started actually recording like this past game. I recorded the before segment while live streaming. And then at the end of it, I posted it. And sure enough, like the second comment was like, it's really corny of you to record this after the game. And I'm like, I try to be transparent.
Yeah. I guess you're too genuine that you're fake somehow. I don't
I
know.
guess so. I literally almost every one of those videos I get at least one comment accusing me of being fake. But hey, at least it's a comment, I guess.
I guess. Yeah. There's always got to be that one.
Yeah. But everyone, thank you so much for hanging out here and hanging out with us. And I see Great Eyes are taking interest in my life. I haven't actually figured out yet where I'm going for dinner, but
You never know.
I do love Great Eyes' question. The Rams or Falcons win out, thus affecting the Rams their first round pick last year. I think it's more likely for the Rams to win out over the
I
Falcons.
agree. Yeah.
Just because I know that the Falcons play the Rams. So
Yeah. Man, that would be crazy.
But yeah, we will see you all next episode for another edition of First Down Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Have a good night.